running for their lives!
There is no shame in this for us! Keep going, and we'll run! This! Only a fool wants to be in the Round the numbers! Push this forward, scumbag!
Do not go quietly, my brothers! Make them suffer! They are trying to take out our general! Defend him! The tide of battle turns in our favor! Give them your best effort! Their general is dead! A lethal blow!
How do we fight against such hate? Keep it up! Keep going! And we'll run! Wait till you get here! Hey!
Our units can no longer fire! Our men have given up and are running for their lives! Send them screaming to the afterlife! Remember your
The heavy losses incurred by the garrison convinced Aro of the need to get out of this impasse. So he decided to push his way through the forces present in the siege, and to reach the coast, where he has a better chance to gather and organize supporters. While his brother, Altán, can send a naval support force, which will carry new support for his forces. Aro organized his force and set off with it from Al-Mashawar Castle, where he headed towards the west through the narrow passages leading to the coast, and when he reached the Beni Sanaisen Mountains, a Spanish force of 50 knights, led by Garcia de la Plaza, surrounded him, and a fierce massacre took place in unforeseen circumstances. Equivalent. Aro defended himself steadfastly and stubbornly that could not be described, using his only hand until there were no more than 10 men left with him who followed his path, and showed his steadfastness and stubbornness after they were fortified with the walls of Zawiya City Musa. And when these 10 men were exterminated, Aro stood face to face in front of his opponent, Garcia, and the duel continued between them until the two fell with 2 fatal strikes. Aro was martyred as the best martyr could be, and he went to where his brothers had preceded him before him. He performed his duty in defense of Islam and Muslims to the last drop of his blood. However, the scale of the disaster was greater than all imaginations, so the Spaniards continued to rejoice, and pain and grief overwhelmed the city of Algeria. The trauma was especially strong for Altán, who knew a life of jihad through his brother. However, the feeling of the trauma of the people of Algeria was not less than the feeling of Altán, as they placed the hopes of their future on Aro, just as they felt with him the sweetness of victory over the enemies of religion. And they knew before and after that the importance of the role that the Middle Maghreb, Algeria, could play in leading the jihad in the cause of God.